That breaking news coming from Fayetteville police. They say a suspect is now in custody for an armed robbery that happened at the David's Bridal store on Mall Avenue. Police announced the arrest of Joseph Floyd as a suspect in the case today. The robbery happened Thursday, and Fayetteville police say their criminal investigators were able to identify him with the help of community members. He's being held tonight in the Washington County Jail on charges of aggravated robbery, and terroristic threatening. His first court date is set for tomorrow. You can follow any developments on this case with our free 5 News app. Well, thanks for joining us tonight for your 5 News at 5:30. I'm Lauren Spencer. Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert has been in the Weather Center this weekend. He starts our coverage with a first look at tonight's forecast.
Lauren, it was one of the hottest weekends of the summer thus far. Going into the next couple of days, it's likely going to be just as hot, if not hotter. Now, some folks getting the benefit of a couple of those pop-up showers, thunderstorms out there, especially near Waldron. We've had a little thunderstorm moving through. That's the strongest one right now. Decent amount of lightning and thunder now moving over towards Oliver and Brawley. That is likely going to be fizzling out with the next 10 to 20 minutes. But there very well could be a few additional pop-ups this evening. You know the drill. It's once the sun sets that we really start to see those diminish. It is hot out there. Fort Smith got up to 102. We're down to 99 right now. Fayetteville got up to 98 degrees. We were down to 97. So we're at least starting that trajectory down into the mid to low 70s by tomorrow morning. Lots of sunshine initially, a couple of clouds in the afternoon. Those clouds not enough to actually provide us any meaningful relief. We're back near 100 in northwest Arkansas, definitively in the triple digits in the River Valley. Heat index values tomorrow, of course, likely going to be even warmer. Here's a couple of things that we are tracking. Yeah, it's going to get hotter tomorrow, but there is a midweek cold front. We've been tracking that one for the last 10 or so days. It's going to move through Wednesday. It brings a chance of storms, maybe some slightly cooler temperatures, but new this evening, a second cold front in the forecast. Perhaps so. The timing of that one as well in just minutes.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Well, college move-in brings big crowds to Fayetteville, with over 34,000 students returning to the U of A this weekend for the fall semester. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach spoke with a local business who's feeling the impact, especially with a new addition to their store.
Folklore Gifts just added an ice cream parlor to their store on West Center Street, and students and families are rushing to try the new flavors. Now known as Folklore Gifts and Ice Cream Shop, the parlor opened just over a week ago. Store manager Joe Holcomb says this new addition has been a long time coming, and more students in the area means more business.
We finally were able to open our ice cream shop after a lot of work, and we're really excited to do it, hopefully in the next few weeks, a grand opening. But we are on our soft open right now, serving 16 flavors of ice cream. And since we've put our sign out, we've had a pretty steady flow of traffic, especially with students being back, coming in and checking it out.
We'll have more on local businesses coming up tonight at 10, but for now, I'm going to enjoy my ice cream. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Well, looking ahead to later this week, Fayetteville city leaders are meeting to consider implementing a firefighter bill of rights. The ordinance will outline detailed procedures for disciplinary investigations and also emphasizes a firefighter's right to engage in political activity.
This came through from state legislation that was enabling legislation. It does not force cities to adopt this ordinance, but it allows us to do so. And I'm really proud to be the first city in the state that will hopefully, after Tuesday, have adopted this.
Some critics of the plan have argued it could make it harder to discipline misconduct. The proposal is scheduled to go before the City Council this Tuesday. Also happening this week, the Northwest Arkansas National Airport Board will hold a special meeting on its plan to separate from the city of Fayetteville. XNA began the process back in 2023 with plans to operate as its own unincorporated community. Fayetteville responded with a lawsuit claiming the move could impact city bond agreements. Tomorrow's closed-door meeting is set for 9 a.m. at the DoubleTree Hotel in Bentonville. It will also be followed by an open meeting at 10. Well, the eyes of the world will be on the White House tomorrow. President Trump welcomes Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and a number of European leaders following his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Willie James Inman has the latest on the negotiations to end the war in Ukraine.
The White House is preparing for Monday's meeting between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. A number of European leaders will also attend, including the leaders of Germany and France, as well as the Secretary General of NATO.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
The Oval Office gathering will be the first time Zelensky has returned to the White House since a disastrous meeting with President Trump earlier this year. On Sunday, President Zelensky met with the president of the European Commission, who told reporters there can be no limits on Ukraine's armed forces or outside assistance.
Ukraine must be able to uphold its sovereignty and its territorial integrity.
Zelensky emphasized the importance of Europe and the U.S. standing with Ukraine.
And it's very important that you are with us and that we speak to America and we speak together. And it's important that Washington is with us.
Monday's meeting comes just 3 days after President Trump met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, a meeting that ended with no announcement of a ceasefire. On Sunday's Face the Nation, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said President Trump is intent on achieving peace between Ukraine and Russia.
Right now, this is the biggest war going on in the world. It's the biggest war in Europe since World War II. We're going to continue to do everything we can to reach an agreement that ends the dying and the killing.
Secretary Rubio said both Ukraine and Russia need to be prepared to make concessions.
Both sides are going to have to give up something in order to get to the table, in order to make this happen.
President Zelensky said Sunday any territorial matters should be discussed at an eventual trilateral meeting involving Russia and Ukraine, as well as the U.S. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Hurricane Erin has been downgraded to a Category 3 hurricane. The storm is churning off the Atlantic coast, and warnings still remain in effect for Turks and Caicos Islands, and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico also got hit with winds and heavy rain. Erin, the first Atlantic hurricane of 2025, reached Category 5 before weakening. While the wind speeds have decreased today, Erin has grown in size. Forecasters say the storm will move well away from the U.S. East Coast, but riptides are a possible concern.